Visual Studio contains a lot of tools for working with your code, but it's possible that it doesn't contain the tool that you want. After all, there are lots of companies out there creating developer tools. One of the easiest ways to extend Visual Studio is by adding these third-party tools. I'm inside Visual Studio, and I've opened a solution called External Tools. That contains two projects. One is a sample application we're going to add to the Tools menu, and another one is Pixelsmith Desktop, which I'm going to use for my disassembly demonstration. The external tools live up here in the Tools menu. They're in this section of the menu. For example, here's an external tool, a very simple one called Create GUID. This was added by Microsoft. When I click on this link, it will launch an independent application, and then all this does is allow me to generate a unique identifier and then copy it to the clipboard. For a more exciting demo, I'm going to add one of my favorite third-party tools, which is called Reflector. This is a free tool that lets you disassemble your .NET code. So I'm going to go to Tools, External Tools, and then I'm going to click the Add button. This is the title for the menu, so I'm going to type in the word Reflector. And then here I choose the executable location. I'll click on this button, and the executable, I've made a copy of it on my desktop. Here it is, reflector.exe. I've also created a copy of the executable from this solution file here, our external tool project. I've copied that over here because I'm going to use it in a later demo. So I'll click on reflector.exe and then click on Open. On this line are the arguments that I want to pass from Visual Studio to the Reflector application. In my case, I want to pass this argument called target path. I'm done, so I'm going to click on OK. Now what's going to happen is I can select one of these two projects, and when I run Reflector, it's going to find the executable for this application and open it up and disassemble the code, like this. So there's the Pixelsmith Desktop. If I close this down and click on our external tool and choose Reflector, now you'll see that it's added another executable. The disassembly tool is easy to use. I just click here, press the space bar, and it starts showing the disassembly information over here. Then I can drill down and find the class that I want to disassemble. And here's more information about it. I can look at the Visual Basic version of the code or disassemble it back into C#, your choice. As I said, this is one of my favorite third-party tools. For my next demonstration, I thought I would show you one of our tools. So I've created this application, which has a simple Windows form on it. And when you click on this button, I'm going to load the command arguments into this list box. I'm going to double click on this button to look at the code. Now what I'm doing is when the form is loaded in the constructor, I'm grabbing an array of arguments. Those are being passed in from the static void main. And then down here, I'm looking in the argument array, and I'm looking for this delimiter, this semicolon. I'm going to split the string based on that semicolon, and I'm going to add an individual row to the list box based on that split string. So let me add this to the Tools menu. Click here, go out to External Tools, click the Add button again. Put my title in. I'm going to go find the executable. Remember, on your machine, you have to find the correct location for this executable. For convenience, I put it on my desktop. There it is. And then I'm going to put some arguments in here, like the item path, and then that delimiter, the semicolon, and then some other argument like target path, semicolon, and I'll choose one more, solution directory, semicolon. I'll click on OK, and then I'm going to run the application, and then I'll click the Get Arguments, and you can see I've successfully passed 3 pieces of information from Visual Studio to my application. So let's review. You can easily add external applications to Visual Studio. If the third-party application supports command line parameters, you can pass information to them from Visual Studio. And that means you can customize the IDE even more to your liking.